Hey there. Today I want to talk to you about the Nank Runner Diver2. These are a continuation of their Runner Diver Pro that they did a few years back that I believe I also reviewed those. The company is also known as Nanka, so you may be familiar with some of their stuff that you've seen online before. Full disclosure, they did send me these headphones to review, but like all reviews I do, my opinions are my own. No one guides anything that I say. I don't want to just go through a long list of features that's not very interesting, and so I'll try to just work mentioning some of those into the rest of what I'm talking about. I want to talk about what it's like to wear them. As you can see that I'm wearing them now, they're very low profile. They don't show up a lot. They're nicer in that way than wearing bigger headphones, especially when you're out walking around. And there's not a whole lot that sticks out behind, which is nice. Because some headphones that really sticks out a ways, and then if you lean back in a chair, it's bumping a lot and can like knock them out of place, which is annoying. You don't get a whole lot of that with these, which I appreciate. And one little extra feature they give you is these little ear inserts that you can see here. These are not for noise cancellation. They're actually just to sit sort of above your ear canal. They don't block your ear canal. I can still hear everything around me really well. But the point of them is so that when this is sitting over your ear, it gives it a little bit broader of a contact point than just the bone that it normally would sit on. And I do notice that it does two things to the sound. It makes it a little louder, which I think is useful because bone conduction headphones in general that I have used just are not as loud. Like on the same volume scale on your phone or device as, say, AirPods or some other headphones, I've always had to turn it up a bit higher to get the same perceived volume level, if you will. So these little inserts do boost that a little bit because it's a more efficient conduction. That's really helpful. And it does seem to boost the lower mids, or you might say like the really upper bass a little bit. That's not to say these are bassy headphones, and it's nothing against these. Most bone conduction headphones that I've ever listened to tend not to have much bass at all, and they don't have much of the super high highs either, so it's more the lower mids to the lower highs that you're getting most represented, if you will. But I don't think most people buy bone conduction headphones as like really high-end listening. The biggest thing that you're using these for generally, I think, is a trade-off, and what these are obviously marketed toward, it's in the name, is for running and swimming. So notably, IPX69 waterproof. In my previous review of the originals of these, I wore them in the shower while listening to music just to test them out. And this time, just before pool season closed up, I went to my in-laws and swam in their public pool to test them. Don't have any footage of that, unfortunately, because it was a public pool and I didn't want to freak people out. But the music was unbroken. It just kept going. It was really nice. And so if you are a swimmer and you want to have YouTube or music or whatever else on while you're doing laps, if that can feel a little bit monotonous, these are great for that. And you're making sort of the trade-off of they may not sound as robust in pure sound quality as other headphones, but then again, there's very few headphones you could actually wear while swimming. And I feel the same thing when you're running. When I've taken any of my AirPods, whether it's the Max or the Pros, out, even for walks, if I step too hard on concrete, I hear this like boom, 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 that like conducts through the ear pads because the Pros especially form a seal in your ears, and that just becomes really loud. And especially if I run, that just becomes annoyingly loud and distracting for whatever I'm trying to listen to. And it does that also with the big AirPods Max. And so they're not really great for running, as well as, they could fall out. And I've had that happen once while I was on a dirt trail, and then it was very hard to find them. I did, but it was difficult. These, not only are they not going to fall off because of the way that they wrap around your ears up here, which is nice, but you don't get any of that boom, boom like sensation when you run. These are much more transparent, if you will, in that way. So definitely if you are a runner and you want tunes for listening, that's another trade-off. It doesn't sound as good as AirPods Pro, but most bone conductions I've tried don't. I think part of the advantage of bone conduction headphones, and I felt this on every pair that I've worn, It's nice that because they don't actually go in your ear canal like other headphones do, you can hear the music and hear everything else going on around you like perfectly well, which if you're out for a walk in public, I find that useful. You have good situational awareness. You're not going to like, whoops, there was a car coming and I didn't hear it, or somebody's walking behind me, getting kind of close. You're aware of that. And if you're running on a trail somewhere alone, it's always advisable to have good situational awareness. I wouldn't personally want to have noise canceling type stuff on while I was running alone. Just that's not a good idea for safety. Although, that said, these do have their own manual noise cancellation, if you will, that they provide these silicone tips that you can put into your ear canal while wearing these, and that blocks out, like most ear plugs do, 20 to 30 decibels of sound, which is pretty respectable, so that you can hear your music a lot better. And these are useful if you're a passenger in a car. I did try these once, and the downside of how transparent bone conduction headphones are is that the road noise from the car really, you hear that a lot. And so then you're really having to turn the volume up on these to hear it better. Using these little tips helps a lot with road noise to just tune into your music. They do provide 3 sizes of these little silicone inserts into your ears so that you can find what kind of works the best for you. I'm still sort of figuring that out myself. I've been using the medium, and they're comfortable for the most part, but right along the ridge here, where it rests, can get a little sore, so I think I might try out the smaller size just to see what that's like. The controls on these, as you can see, are pretty much along this part right here. And so you have a next and a back and a middle button that you can play pause, and you can use this to toggle it on and off. And if you press and hold it long enough, you can switch between different modes. I do find it handy to adjust the volume with these like you would other headphones. But one oddity that I've noticed that I figured was worth mentioning is when I'm wearing AirPods or most kinds of Bluetooth headphones with my phone, if I get a phone call and I'm already wearing the Bluetooth headphones, it'll just know, oh, you must want to use those headphones, and it'll just use those right into the call. For some reason with these, when I answer a call when these are already connected to my phone and I'm already listening to music, it doesn't default to using them. And so it'll be my phone speaker, and I have to, like, in the phone screen settings, tell it, use the Nank Runner Divers each time. And I'm not sure why that is. It's not a huge deal, but it is a minor annoyance, especially if you're in a scenario where the phone is in your pocket. Say if you're out walking and you just had the headphones on, well, then you got to pull the phone out and tell it to use them, which is a little weird, and I'm not sure why that happens, but seemed worth mentioning. I like the fact that these have 10 hours of battery life. That's roughly twice what the AirPods Pro 2s that I use a lot have. Obviously, these don't have a charging case like the AirPods do to charge them up, but they come with a really convenient magnetic charging cable. And so you see on the inner part of this here, you have a couple bumps that just snaps and magnetizes right onto there. And this allows them to charge while maintaining their waterproof nature. And it's just a USB-A cable that you can plug into almost anything. If you do have a laptop or a device that only has a USB-C, then you might want to use one of these little adapters that will convert it down to C, and then it works okay doing that. I actually haven't had to charge them a whole lot in the couple weeks that I've been using them to be able to talk about them, just because of the long battery life, but they don't take all that long to charge, which is nice. They do support fast charging, and if you use the battery widget on iPhone, they, like most headphones I've tried, it's nice. They will show up nicely in there, and you can monitor your battery life through there really easily and accurately. These are pretty durable. They're made of a rubberish outside that has pretty good grippiness even when they're wet. I found it easy to control things even when I was swimming in the pool. And these are real easy to throw in a bag, even if you don't have a case or anything. I mean, they can bend and they can fold okay. So I've put them in a backpack just along with other stuff and wasn't too worried about them being crushed or bent or anything. And there was no issue with that. Your mileage may vary, but I don't feel like these kind of headphones need a case, and you can really comfortably just put them around your neck like that and walk around with them, and it doesn't really like dig into the neck or it's uncomfortable or anything. And the nice part is, since they are rubber on the outside and they are waterproof, you don't have to worry about sweat if it's hot out when you have them around your neck. I've done that with other headphones, and then the headband gets all, it's not great. You don't have to worry about that on these, which is really nice. And if it was a little wet from sweat, you could just wipe them off and they'd be good to go because of the rubber construction. So they give you a lot of useful options without a lot of fluff. And if you're a serious runner or someone who does swimming and stuff, these are a great trail companion, and I think the mix of features is pretty solid. And I like that they're a little bit more minimalist design than the original versions that I tried several years back that felt a little bulkier. So I think that that's like an incremental improvement that they've definitely made with these. One other minor point that I felt is worth saying, it's something that I mentioned a few years back in my review of the other bone conduction headphones. I've done some reading about the technology of bone conduction headphones in general, and one of the things I had come across at one point, they had said that certain types of hearing loss, depending on what is causing the hearing loss, in some cases, people that use the bone conduction headphones can hear perfectly well because the way their particular hearing loss works is only in the ear canal and with the eardrum, and somehow sound waves going through the bone that this technology works with kind of bypasses that. And so I mention that just because if you're a person that happens to have that particular type of hearing loss, this is a huge advantage of using these kind of headphones over any other, is that you'll probably be able to, volume-wise, hear what you're listening to on these better than most other options simply because of that. So, worth a mention. Something I just figured I'd mention so that you're aware of. In the same way that other headphones like AirPods, when they sync to your phone, they make a little sound so that you know that they're connected. These, when you turn them on, do say power on through the headphone, and then they also say connected when they connect to your phone. But the voice that says that is fairly loud. It's, in some cases, it seems like the volume of that is independent of whatever your volume is set at on the headphones. So in some cases, that can be a lot louder than you thought you set the headphones. So I just wanted to let you know of that so that it doesn't startle you. Because if you're in a quiet room and you think it's just going to make a quick beep, for it to loudly be like connected, might be like, whoa. So luckily it's a fairly soothing voice set in a soft tone, so it's not that startling, but worth mentioning. If you are interested in buying, Nank has given me a couple of discount codes to use. You can go to their official website following the link in the description and use discount code Digimorphosis15 to save 15% off your order. Or if you want to go on Amazon to get it, you can use the coupon code I'm showing up on the screen, and it'll be in the description to save 15% off at Amazon. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions that I didn't talk about in this video, put them down in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.